When I decided to watch The Edge of 17, I was looking forward to watching the typical teenage dramedy, something sort of like a John Hughes film like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But the writer and director Kelly Freeman Craig really exceeded my expectations. She created a film that David Ehrlich from IndieWire.com described as thinking like a hand-me-down, but acting like a true original. I really, really like how he described it, and I completely agree with him. Haley Steinfeld is a rising pop star, and she's also an Academy Award nominee for her role in True Grit, which is also a really great film I recommend. She plays this sort of narcissistic and sarcastic, socially inept 17-year-old girl named Nadine. She lives in her brother's shadow. His name's Darian. He's kind of this all-around perfect, typical jock, smart guy. Everybody likes him, and they kind of don't even notice her. She does have a best friend named Krista, though. They've been friends since they were in second grade. They're very close, and she's sort of her emotional life raft, as Tim Grierson from Screen Daily describes. She really relies on her to get her through high school, but that kind of falls apart when Krista and Darian, after a night of drinking, sleep together and then later start dating seriously. David Ehrlich explains that when you add all of this to the fact that her mom isn't around much and her crush doesn't know who she is, and she's got this cranky old teacher, Mr. Bruner, who's played by Woody Harrelson. He's kind of chosen her as his daily sparring partner to take out daily frustrations on. It doesn't seem to matter much that she recently watched her father pass away of a heart attack in the car on their way home from one of their fast food runs from a favorite burger joint. Nevertheless, Nadine finds a friend in Erwin, who Christy Lemire from RogerEbert.com describes as the slightly nerdy but deeply decent classmate who harbors a not-so-secret crush on her. She toys with his emotions throughout the entire film, and it kind of gives her a sense of control over her really messy life, only unfortunately at his expense. I really love the development of characters and relationships in this movie. We start off sort of just seeing Nadine's perspective, but as we go through the film, we learn a lot more about the other characters. We find out that Darian's life isn't quite as perfect as Nadine thinks it is, and Mr. Bruner isn't this lonely jerk, and he cares a lot more than he seems to at first. Mona, their mom, she's just as lost as Nadine is, really. They're all just trying to navigate life after the death of their father and her husband. Even though The Edge of 17 addresses lots of the typical issues that you might see in an adult film, or a young adult film rather, it does it in a way that's really honest and relatable, and I really enjoyed that. The actors do a really good job in this film of making their characters feel honest and relatable, and Tim Grierson explains that Haley Steinfeld isn't afraid to let Nadine be unpleasant, which sort of gives us this moment in the film that's really touching, and she sort of realizes at this point that her self-pity is kind of blinding her from all of the pain that everyone else around her is feeling. I like that the director didn't over-embellish on obvious moments. She sort of left certain things to the imagination, which was great because I was a little concerned about hearing and seeing the same story we'd heard in other films over and over and over again. This could have easily become one of those typical films that was just overdone, and I really appreciated that she didn't do that. She was smart enough to leave certain parts out and let her viewers sort of figure it out for themselves. She knew how to keep our attention. Jesse Hassinger from the AV Club points out that Craig has this really keen sense of how to pace through Nadine's discomfort. She doesn't rush through moments really fast, but she also doesn't linger on them for too long. She lets it feel like a natural progression where Nadine's fumbling through these awkward moments in her life. One more thing I'd like about the film was that the cinematography kind of added to the mood, and the grays and muted colors kind of added to Nadine's drab bleh feeling, where it only kind of got brighter and more colorful towards the end when things started to get better for her. I would recommend this film to anybody who finds humor in reminiscing on those really awkward, messy days of high school and your teenage years. It's just a really good reminder of how to laugh at yourself when things don't go your way, and to remember that other people around you are experiencing hardships too, and it's important to always consider that.